In today's episode, an effects pedal goes for a ridiculous price at auction. Courtney Love has the Angys. Gojira's vocalist has the Angys. And also a tour announcement. All right, roll the intro. Welcome back to my news show. This is where we talk about rock and metal news. Yes, I still have a shitty name for the show, but you know what? Fight me. I do the show 2 times every week, hopefully. I also stream on Twitch 2 to 3 times a week. My channel, BK_VTuber. But let's go ahead and get into the news. Our first story comes from Guitar World. Kurt Cobain's stage-played DoD grunge pedal sells at auction for $16,000. If you're unaware of what a grunge pedal is, it's this. It was made by the company DoD back in the early 90s. By Jason Lamb was the guy who designed it, and it was supposed to emulate the sound of grunge music, obviously, but it's just honestly one of the worst sounding pedals in existence, and I guess for some reason that's why people like it. This stompbox was used and abused at a Nirvana show in 1993. Kurt Cobain's DoD FX69 grunge pedals has sold at auction for $16,000 as part of Julian's Auctions Music Icons 2021 event. My goodness. This pedal was used during the Nirvana show at the San Diego Sports Arena in San Diego, go figure, on December 29th, 1993, during which Cobain threw the pedal off stage and joked, "Excuse me, that was my grunge pedal." You can view the incident at blah blah blah, we'll go ahead and watch that. But apparently legend has it Kurt Cobain didn't even use the pedal. Kurt Cobain was a fan of the DS1 by Boss, and legend has it that he only had the pedal on his board or next to his board, basically to point at it and make fun of it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and watch the video. Interesting. That's the DS1.
Excuse me, that was my grunge pedal.
Interesting. I mean, of all the things to throw off stage, it's one of the cheapest. Pretty sure those things are still around, or at least the new ones, and they're like $30 or $40, kind of like a DS1, basically. Deanna M. Costa, an audience member at the show that night, requested this box from a member of the security team who had picked it up. They just fucking gave it away. Okay. The pedal has Velcro underneath and gaffer tape on the side, the latter of which bears the text 12/29/944. This represents the concert date and pedal voltage, according to Cobain's guitar tech, Jim Vincent. An original ticket stub and signed letter of authenticity from Costa accompany the box. DoD launched the grunge pedal in 1993 to capitalize on the burgeoning Seattle sound. It was the first contribution from DoD by pedal designer Jason Lamb, who apparently he wasn't even a guitarist or anything. He was just some punk kid, marketing and graphic designer or something. Josh Scott from JHS Pedals has a very good video discussing the Jason Lamb series pedals. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. It's really, if you've got 20 minutes, it's a really interesting watch. Good piece of guitar history. Went on to become the company's most popular distortion pedal. Let's see, it was pretty cheap. Cobain was famously disdainful about the word grunge and the cultural phenomenon that surrounded it, kind of like prog. A lot of prog guys hate the term prog. So it's entirely possible the pedal was used in as part of a joke, hence the brief lifespan in his live guitar rig. This particular pedal has been previously featured on the History Channel's Pawn Stars, where it failed to sell for $5,000. Someone made some fucking money last night. Its final selling price of $16,000 this time, however, exceeds that of Cobain's battered DS1, which fetched $9,000 last year. If you want a DS1, those things are fucking $50. Obviously, it was Kurt Cobain, so it's got some significance to it, but I'd rather have Stevie Ray Vaughan's Tube Screamer, which I actually got to see. There was at Emerald City Guitars in Seattle one time I went there. They would not let me play it. Understandably. Yeah. Other Cobain gear items featured in Julian's Music Icons 2021 auction include a 1993 staged used guitar pick sold for $4,375. Jesus Christ. And a signature edition budget guitar signed by all three members of Nirvana sold for $10,000. A little less crazy. As well as guitars from Eddie Van Halen and Prince, the auction's big seller was a 1992 self-portrait caricature by Cobain, which went for a whopping $281,000. Holy fuck. 28 times its original estimate. I'm not a Nirvana fan personally, but I can definitely understand like the cultural significance behind the band and behind Kurt Cobain. That would be pretty cool to have, but not over $250,000. Holy shit. And as for that pedal, it's like, enjoy. I can think of much better things I'd rather spend like $16,000 on. That's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 Aristides guitars. So, I think that's pretty neat though. But let's go ahead and go on to our next story, once again involving Nirvana. Alright, this story comes from Loudwire. Courtney Love disputes Nirvana rights agreement, accuses Trent Reznor of abuse. So if you don't know who Courtney Love is, she was Kurt Cobain's wife, and has not been culturally relevant in ever. But for some reason still manages to draw a crowd. I don't understand. Courtney Love on Saturday made and then deleted an Instagram post in which she lashed out at Dave Grohl over an apparent royalties agreement related to Nirvana, deriding the former Nirvana drummer and current Foo Fighters bandleader in his colloquial tag as the nicest guy in rock. Dave Grohl is the nicest guy in rock. Shut the fuck up. In the same message, Love, a widow of Nirvana's Kurt Cobain, accused Trent Reznor of abuse. Ooh, spicy. The PRP captured screenshots of Love's post before it was removed. I remember seeing something on like it was a article about Dave Grohl. This was like today. Dave Grohl like crying or something, and Courtney Love fucking commented on it. It was like, shut the fuck up, Dave. It's like, first off, as if Dave Grohl's gonna see some fucking random thing on a Dave Grohl fan site. The Hole's, she's in a band called The Hole, and you can actually find videos. Once again, legend has it, they had to hire someone to play guitar for her, so she was basically up there miming, but she apparently didn't know this. Like, their manager hired a session guitarist to go on tour with them. She was unaware of this, and he had to like intentionally suck. You can find videos on YouTube of live shows where they isolated the guitar track. It's fucking hilarious. I highly recommend it. But yeah, she's in a band called Hole for some reason. The Hole frontwoman Screed, what fucking word is that? Started by suggesting that both Foo Fighters and Nine Inch Nails had previously disparaged her likeness in music videos. Oh no. It included an image of NIN's Starfuckers Incorporated videos. Read the full message toward the bottom of the page. No thanks, I'll go ahead and just read the summary. Love's post included hashtags for Me Too, the social movement against sexual abuse and sexual harassment, where people publicize allegations of sex crimes. Referring to Grohl and Reznor, she said, "These two jackasses are not my Me Toos because I'm saving my one up, but they're darn close." She also stated she's had enough of the chaos and fury over Kurt's death being directed at me. There is a good conspiracy theory that she killed Kurt Cobain. I am not going to comment on that other than the fact that it's probably true. Deflected by Dave while he enriched and continues to enrich himself, gorging on Kurt's fortune and Kurt's goodwill. Referencing a document she once signed that says she effectively gives Dave Grohl and Nirvana's Chris Novoselic, I can never fucking remember how to pronounce his name, Novoselic, the bassist for Nirvana, my descendants' money in perpetuity. Love said she will be reneging. Keep using big words. I'm from North Idaho, okay? We don't have these big words. On that agreement, calling Reznor a creep elsewhere in the missive, she alleged that she and members of Hole had witnessed the NIN's figureheads' systemic abuse of kids, girls as young as 12, by him and his crew in the past. Earlier this year, Love claimed she stopped acting after a bunch of #MeToos. Last month, she heavily criticized Hulu's upcoming Pam and Tommy series in defense of her friend Pamela Anderson. And then she goes on to make this big fucking absolute eyesore of a of a comment here, half of which is completely illegible. So there you go. Basically, Courtney Love is whining. And as for is Trent Reznor child toucher? I don't know. No evidence. No victims have stepped forward. We can revisit that if someone ever does. So, yeah, there you go. Courtney Love, crazy bitch. Let's go ahead and go on. Alrighty. This is from blabbermouth.net. Gojira's Joseph Duplanter. Oh, fucking hell. How do you pronounce this?
Duplanche.
Gojira's Joseph Duplanche on virus that sparked the pandemic. It always comes from mistreating and eating animals. So if you don't know who Gojira is, they're like a progressive death metal band. Really fucking good. Their new album slaps. Highly recommend it. But they're also a very environmentally activist band, kind of like Cattle Decap, but more prog death and less death grind. Joseph
Duplanche.
Of French progressive metalers Gojira, who have been involved in environmental and animal rights activism, spoke to Mexico's Warp magazine about the exact origin of the Ronas and launched global blah, blah, blah. He said, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net, for vegans, it's very upsetting, this freaking pandemic, because it always comes from mistreating and eating animals. All the viruses, if you think about it, from chicken, the mad cow, whatever it's called, all those COVID episodes that we have, it's always from eating animals because we're not supposed to. Science would disagree. That's what I think. Anyway, I'm a bit upset about that. I don't think it's conspiracy or God's punishment. I think it's just a normal reaction to our behavior on this planet. Shit like that's gonna happen if you don't fucking behave. I am obviously not a vegan or vegetarian. Ask what people can do to make the world a better place, Joseph said. It means we have the power. We do. When you go to the supermarket or the grocery store or to the marketplace, wherever you go to buy food, are you going to choose to buy a product from a farmer that beats his wife? Holy fuck. That escalated quickly. Jesus Christ. Are you going to choose to buy a product from a farmer that beats his wife or a product from a farmer that doesn't beat his wife? Or mistreats his animals or doesn't mistreat his animals? I think you're making two very different observations there, buddy. Who are you going to support? Are you going to buy a product that was brought here from the other side of the planet and took 3 planes and 2 boats to bring? Are you going to buy a local vegetable? Oh, I eat local. Oh, it sounds fancy, you fucking hipster. No, you need to fucking eat local. When you live down in Mexico, I'm sure you have more choices in the food you eat. In colder countries, maybe people buy avocado and banana that was bought from very far away. But it's probably the case in Mexico too, I'm sure. You can choose to buy something local that comes from afar. So I think it starts here. Like, dude, what fucking point are you making? You went from COVID came from eating animals to buy local and wife-beating farmers. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Calm your toots. He continued, this is something I tell people, and they're often very surprised. And it's not metal to say that, but the power is in your wallet. Very true. That's really for anything, though. I'm a firm believer in vote with your wallet. If you think that a place is bad or has bad products, don't fucking buy it. The end. Even if you spend just $2 a day, it's still, you have a power there. And also our thoughts, what we think becomes what we are. So it's very important to have good thoughts about ourselves and about others around us, and try to see the positive in people or bring the positive into other people. That's another thing we can do. We can be polite and try to listen to people and better ourselves instead of being mad and angry at the world. We can turn on the water to wash our hands and turn it off right away. We can choose to ride a bicycle instead of taking our car. even if we have money to buy gas, and so on and so on. You know, honestly, like that whole paragraph, like that's the good shit. This paragraph, intention's there, but holy fuck, that execution was horrible. All these little things mean we have the power. It's not the government, facts. It's not the president, facts. That's going to change things for you, facts. Because he only cares about being re-elected. More facts. I think people should understand that by now. Oh.
Duplanche.
Added, and also I'll add that about this. It's just a sentence, I guess, that wraps it up. But I think the true revolution is coming from within, from individuals. If there is a revolution happening in you, you're gonna better yourself. There's gonna be a change on some level. It could be small, it could be big. I think that's it. It's a revolution that works. Because trying to start a revolution with a lot of people, like in France, let's behead the king, turns into a mess. I don't know, I'm pretty cool with beheading politicians. Then it's republic, and people are not happy anyway. So if people change, they're going to inspire people around them to change. I like how we went from COVID to killing politicians. Total quality. Gojira's new album, Fortitude, was released in April via Roadrunner. The LP was recorded and produced by
Duplanche.
at Silvercord Studio, Gojira's Ridgewood, Queens headquarters, and mixed by Andy Wallace. So, and like I said, I highly recommend the album. It's so good. It is really good. So, yeah, there we covered, in one article, we covered COVID, farmers who beat their wives, hipsters, buying local, and beheading politicians. So, quality. Alright, let's fucking finish this episode. Alright, this is from Metal Injection. We're just going to end it on a nice light note. Devin Townsend, who happens to be my favorite Canadian, announces 2022 European tour for new album Lightwork. New Devin Townsend album, apparently. The world needs a hero, and it should be Devin Townsend. I nominate him. The ever-prolific Devin Townsend has announced a European tour for April 2022 in support of his new album Lightwork. Townsend has not officially announced Lightwork yet, so all we know right now is that it exists in some capacity, and Townsend will be touring in support of it next spring. All we know for absolute sure is that Townsend spent the past year working on Lightwork and another new album called The Puzzle. And so here's all the dates, all European, obviously, hence why it's called a European tour. Us North Americans are just going to have to wait for our glorious leader to bless us with his live shows. I went to one on the, was it Transcendence? Or is that's a Stephen Wilson song? I don't remember. The one before Empath. Saw him in Spokane, Washington, and goddamn, that was a fucking great show. The tour with BT Bam and Fallujah opening up. Good fucking show. So if you're in Europe and you can make it to one of these shows, I highly recommend going. You will not be disappointed. And that about wraps up for this episode. It went a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but yeah, whatever. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That stuff really helps out. I'm trying to do this to a broader audience. So please like and subscribe. Comment as well. Do all those algorithm positive things. Also, go ahead and follow me on twitch.tv, BK_VTuber. I stream 2 to 3 times a week. Video games, making music and stuff. It's always a good time. You can also follow me on Twitter at BKVTuber, no underscore. And you can also find my SoundCloud in the description as well, where you can see the music that I make. Alrighty, I hope you all have a good one. Peace!